Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Creator Clash 2. The format is timeless and the round is number 4. We have got a couple of players that are undefeated, but we've still got a couple of spicy decks in tension. So we're going to bring you a powerhouse matchup anew. Who is it and what are they playing?
Yeah, so our first matchup is going to be Aspiring Spike on the Thoughtbound Phantasm dot Surveillance deck, battling against Benjamin, I Take All Your Permanents Wheeler, playing Winota and Agent of Treachery. Now, I think the Winota deck is relatively stock. It's pretty well known here. But on the other side, Spike he's got the sauce. He's been in the kitchen cooking for Modern, and he's brought this deck that plays Dragon's Rage Channeler, the Surveil lands, and a sweet 2 mana enchantment called Enhanced Surveillance, which, when you surveil, allows you to look at 2 more cards. Combine that with Underworld Breach, and you have a very, very, very potent deck on your hands that really just gets through the entire deck and can win with something like Thassa's Oracle through your Underworld Breach combo.
Yeah, it's another innovative deck that's been built by literally the deck builder of our generation, Mr. Aspiring Spike. It's awesome to see. Then on the other side, Ben's just gone for some powerful cards. Like if we can get like a Winota down turn 3, it could just be game. He could steal all the lands on the other side, like we saw last round. So it's gonna be really interesting at how this goat bans out. Obviously, an all-star staple of Magic the Gathering. We've got a Fort-bound Phantom in the battlefield. Not exactly one that you would. I was definitely coming into this tournament thinking that card's going to see play, but has the text Defender on it. 1 mana for a 2/2. Every time you surveil, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it has 3 or more counters, well, you can start turning it sideways because it'll be a nice 5/5 or bigger. And as we saw already in this tournament, it can grow real quickly, real fast because of cards like Dragon Rage Chandler. We've got the usual disruption that you're used to. We've got Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierces, obviously putting cards into a graveyard. So we've got the Treasure Cruises. We've got a couple of Unholy Heat. Plus, we've got Swords of Plowshares and Underworld Breach, which we know is a cool combo anyway. Talking of Underworld Breach, Mr. Underworld Breach is into battlefield. Hello, Mr. Kai Barmeister. Hope you're well, my friend.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see Corey here. On the other side, though, this is a really interesting card that we're looking at right now. It's called Grizzled Huntmaster, and this is a card that you'll only see on Arena. And basically, it allows you to go into your sideboard and pull out a creature that you're looking for. Cough, cough, Winota, cough, cough. And yeah, this is a way to increase the consistency overall in this deck. We did see a copy. We did see that Ben's playing with natural orders. Looking at the sideboard, there's the Boromir, your Sharn, a couple of Voice of Resurgences. And there it is. That's the one of Winota that we're probably going to want in order to do some nasty damage next turn. Now, it's a little bit tricky here because from this board state, there's a couple things to factor, which is will Spike have some sort of counter magic? Uh, you know, what's he basically doing? Because he's got kind of nothing else really going on. Which makes me want to tread cautiously here from Ben's side.
And missing land drops. Okay, that's pretty key, right? That means that he couldn't slam this one over, which Spike's probably got that in his head. Okay, right, that card is only in the deck for one reason. It is to go and get a Renoda. That's probably in hand. Ben missing the land drop means that Spike can kind of set up his turn a little bit more. He's also got a double sort of countered with counterspell and Swords to Plowshare anyway, which makes me feel like this is a really good matchup for Spike, just being able to have 1 mana answers to stopping the board on the other side, as we're going to see it come down here. Is it going to get countered shortly? How is a swords this? I don't know how to go, but yeah, I kind of thinking maybe I want to swords it and then ace is a random 1 mana follow up. I will for it because counterspell can hit anything that Ben plays, with swords is limited to just creatures once hit. Can't turn anything sideways really. Besides, maybe we could draw the Huntmaster sideways. It is a 4/3. Could line up with blocks, but like has any instant speed way of surveilling, which you know is considered in the deck. It will outgrow the Huntmaster and it'll be a terrible day for Ben.
Ooh,
Decides not to attack.
you could see that he was deep in the tank. He was thinking, do I attack or do I not? The problem here is that if there's another way to surveil, the Thoughtbound Phantasm is just going to, oh my, that's a nice draw.
I was about to say, this is why we use the swords over the counter spell, because swords cannot hit natural order, but counter spell can. So Ben ripping like a boss, still not getting their spikes, having every answer there is. And is this game? in a turn or two with Underworld Breach and Lewis, are we missing like a 0 mana spell or something crazy like that, like a bauble to just win the game?
It's gonna at least at the bare minimum be just a lot of value here, but I gotta go double check what's in Spike's graveyard to actually know the answer to that question. We'll put a pause on that for now. Couple interesting things here though. The Thoughtbound Phantasm did a great job at sort of stabilizing the board state, which seems kind of weird to say out loud, but here's another Grizzled Huntmaster. Okay. Um, but it is a 5/5, and
The
then
Renoda's already been
suddenly
taken out the graveyard.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, any card or creature. Oh, that's interesting. We don't have many great options. Could get the Archon of Amira. That might be worth getting into play, stopping a combo turn from Spike. Other than that, there's not else I'm really. Oh, lies. There is a cleric, exile the graveyard, which is 2 mana, which I believe we've got 2 mana up for. Like something.
Yeah, Grizzled Huntmaster allows you to conjure it. It doesn't actually put the card from your sideboard into your hands.
Oh,
You're actually creating a close. So you could actually just keep getting extra Winotas. Um,
that's really cool. I thought you take it from your. That's really cool that you can kind of replace, I guess, because you plus your creature hand. That's pretty cool. Like fully aware that that's going to be in the hand. Has counter spell up ready for it, but that notably will be the last counter spell. So we're just going to get a bunch of value this turn, I think. Hold up counter spell, and then if Ben can top deck yet another, Winota, natural order, something like that, potentially you could steal this game.
dude, I'm actually just wondering, like, what if you just cut the Thassa's Oracle from Spike's deck and just play like a wonder? I mean, I know it's not. I don't think it's on Arena, but or some way to like give your Thoughtbound Phantasm flying, because this card just it gets huge. It's already a 7/7, and I feel like that's not even the ceiling.
Oh no, this guy. We've seen it being huge. We saw a pair of them actually. Remember in like round two, I think it was. Like when he managed to just win that game with a pair of these that grew crazy
Like
large. I think it was against
11/11s or
Derek.
something.
I mean against Derek, right? Yeah, I think it was like just too much. You know, had to chump block and everything just went bad.
Oh my god!
But
I see the comment in the chat already. Blue Tarmogoyf is cool, and I kind of agree. I was thinking that this card actually just is straight
oh,
up better than Tarmogoyf. Rest in peace, Tarmogoyf. You were a great one.
like hitting another counter spell off the top, which means now basically Ben's next top deck is already game. But this could be game. Is there enough cards? If you hit a 0 mana spell off any of these surveils, might just might kill the other side of the battlefield. One of the does have hexproof swords or a lightning bolt. Can we just? No, I suppose we can't. I was going to say we can't just bolt to the
Yeah, we
four
don't have enough
card
red,
reason.
unfortunately.
Again, just another value turn. Why not? 11. Could kill the other two creatures and force the chump block with the Paradise Tree.
I don't mind that at all. Yeah. In the meantime, I guess. Oh no! Wait. Maybe. No, I guess. So this is kind of just like It's interesting. We have 3 mana open. Is there any way that we could actually get to Oracle this turn? And I don't can.
Need a 0 mana, I think. I think we need 0 mana, and then with 0 mana, we can kind of turn through our deck uh, to mill ourselves out. One of those cards we will eventually will be in. I don't think there's an Oracle win this turn, but it's just setting up. We're covering all the bases right now for Benjamin to not be able to get out from a cameo off the top. Great when you see it in the Titan lists. Not too good right now when you draw like turn 7 or whatever this is. Um, we could just be a couple of turns like just down game 1 here.
It's funny. It's funny. Ben was like, "Yeah, Kami of Bamboo Groves is my favorite card," and now he's just playing it and throwing it under the bus here on chump block duty.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you do. But the problem is now there's another phantom on the battlefield. That means there's gonna be 2 huge
Ooh.
entering you're getting turned sideways every other turn now. So surveil after surveil after surveil.
Fact. Oh, I guess Spike doesn't even want the enhanced surveillance, which is kind of what the deck can do. Or maybe he's binned an Underworld Breach that we can get back with Luris. Drawing the Enhanced Surveillance now, that makes a lot of sense. And now we get to like supercharge the deck, right? I mean, I think we still need like one more mana to be able to, and we still need that 0 mana artifact, by the way. I don't know where the Mishra's Baubles are. Doesn't seem like they're.
I don't think we need them. Not gonna lie to you. While we've got this counter spell up, and Spike is literally playing this, like holding this counter spell up for dear life, isn't committing every resource, is always not playing it greedy. Just like I can just get more value, hold up 2 mana. Get more value, hold up 2 mana. Where Ben's playing 1/1s and 0/1s, it's not going worse. But like,
Okay. There's the.
or another one. Surveil twice, Surveil 3 with Underworld Breach as well. There's a 0. There's 2 0 mana artifacts hitting the now Underworld Breach. I think this might be a way. Well, yeah, we've got the consider to draw it, so we can now go through the combo of milling our deck. When we find the fastest Oracle, we can draw it with the consider, and then we just keep milling our deck, and then we go the Oracle and win that.
I mean, at this point, we're literally just playing baubles over and over and over again, and just
Yeah.
you're right. We just mill the whole, take the whole damn thing and flip it upside down, right?
Yes, yes, that is what's going to happen. We will win via this fastest Oracle card. Solution to blue. We know there's no cards in hand for Ben, so nothing to play around. Devotion currently is 4. It'll be 6. So Spike doesn't even need to fully mill himself out, just has to leave 6 cards left in his deck, and he will win the game through his. I don't know if this is plan A or plan B for this. They both seem really powerful ways to win.
Honestly, the more I see this deck, the more I kind of feel like Thoughtbound Phantasm is plan A. Generally speaking, you would make the argument that this is an Underworld Breach deck that has the Thassa's Oracle win condition first. But the more I see this, I'm just like, nah, this is all about the 1/1, the 2/2 spirit. I'm sorry, that has a dream. You know what I mean? And there's the Thassa's Oracle. This is the game ending condition, and we're going into our first post board game here.
That was a cool win. Like we've now seen this deck twice in the feature match area, and we've seen it win 2 different times. It is an open deck list tournament, so that's where you can see Spike there at the top of your screen, kind of looking through the deck list, seeing what potentially Ben could be bringing in, and what can Ben bring in to up this. He's got a couple of tools. He's got Deafening Silence. That's an one way of kind of stopping the combo, but not the creatures. What else have
Archon, like you mentioned, which you can also, you probably don't even bring the Archon in because being able to tutor it off of the Grizzled
That's what I was
Huntmaster is just
thinking.
more important. And actually thinking about it, then we don't really have very many options, right? It might literally just be the one Deafening Silence.
Don't hate it. I don't
Yeah.
hate it, but
And you just stay
what else do you want to
streamlined,
do?
like, to the point, which means honestly, if this is bad game one, it's going to get worse. And I think
Oh,
Spike might have the advantage. His deck is going to improve going from game one to game two just by virtue of taking out all the bad cards, bringing in all the good cards. You can see Spike bringing in 2 copies of Stern Scolding, excellent in this matchup, and then also 2 copies of Test of Talents, which is a lot of respect there for Natural Order.
you got to remember though, like Spike had a lot of his counter magic in that game. Plays 4 copies of counter spell, saw 3 of them, played the deck round, hit all the big hitters out of Ben when he was casting them. There was no like having a soul shenanigans to stop that. But the other advantage of this Surveil deck is you're going to find the cards that you're good in this matchup a lot quicker than your opponent's going to find the cards that are a lot good in this matchup because you're turning and burning through your deck. That is part of your strategy, is to get the cards from your library into your graveyard so you can win with Fastest Oracle. Along the way, you're going to keep all the good cards in this matchup in your hand, and you're going to battle for what your opponent's doing until you're ready to win the game. Another like great deck building synergy there from Aspiring Spike.
I'm going to give you guys a little glimpse into the rest of our event going on right now. At 3-0, you have the Sultai Show and Tell mirror match between Arnie Huschenbeth and Seth Manfield. And while we did want to bring you the 3-0s, we figured there's going to be another time to watch more Show and Tell gameplay, exciting, riveting Show and Tell action. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is definitely there. Those two, I believe Seth is up a game right now. Right now, we are in, I believe, the 2-1 bracket, watching game number 2 of Ben Wheeler on Winota against Aspiring Spike on Jeskai Surveil. That's what I kind of called it, but maybe there's a better name for it.
Like Jessica, you could go for like the Veil combo maybe on the tin. We're going to start with Dragon Age off a lot, of course, knowing that there's basically hero removal in Ben's deck. So all these Dragon Age channels, when they hit the battlefield, start getting the spell triggers going off and start moving fights game plan. But Ben being on the play, huge advantage. Like without counter spell in hand, there is going to be a green creature left open. This natural order is going to resolve.
Shields
If
are down. Shields are down.
if we rip a land, has to be a land. Getting the surveil here,
Oh,
ensuring that the top card is a land, a windswept heath. But what do we go and find? We don't have great cards in our hand for the massive dinosaur tyrant. Could just be an Atraxa, or it could be an agent of treachery. Oh no, it's got to be green, right? So it can't be agent. It's got to be an Atraxa, or I don't think it's a great hoof. Atraxa does look nice to me. That is what we're going to get. The big 7/7 Phyrexia in general. Get up to 4 cards in our hand. That's an enchantment. That's the instant. We've got land and creep as well.
you know, I'm a little bit skeptical about this Atraxa. In my mind, when I said it out loud, the natural order it had that punch. It seems so enchanting. But now I'm just thinking about this one little thought-bound phantasm that could. Last game it was like 18-18. Well, I think this if this Atraxa doesn't close out the game, which it probably will do in the next 2 turns, right? Spike at 14. This is 2 clean hits from the Atraxa. I kind of get the feeling that maybe the Phantasm can just like, well, it can't block. That's the problem. If only it could block.
Oh, the
Hmm.
other side of it is Spike can kind of decide when to turn on delirium and not. So he can use his Dragon Age channels as blockers to buff his
Oh,
life total a little bit. He
good
also
call.
does have nice clean answers in his deck, like Swords to Plowshare. Like Swords is a great 1 mana answer to an Atraxa. And with all these surveil triggers, he's got lots of looks at the top of his deck to try and find that. The only downsides of these extra looks is they are going to make these Dragon Age channels free freeze and they're going to have to attack on. No, having to attack into an Atraxa, not great. But I suppose the other flip side of that is does Ben even block, knowing that there's unholy heat in Spike's deck. So a lot to happen still in this match between us. Ben is definitely in the driving seat currently. Has lots of options in his hand here. Of course, Spike knows about 5 of them. 4 from the Atraxa, 1 from the Mistress Bauble trigger.
We
Who
don't
doesn't
have
know
like an
about?
unsummon kind of effect, do we? Because I'm just imagining a world where we went like play the breach into Mishra's Bauble, get double surveil trigger. That'll make the Thoughtbound Phantasm real big, real fast. And
No, we do not. There's 3 Swords of Plowshare. 1 more of each board as well. Potentially could have like 4 easy clean cut copies and 4 copies that Ben's going to have. One of them's already been used. We're going to exile Paradise Druid. Is there more text this card that I don't know? So nice way to exile the graveyard. 2 copies? What? What am I missing? I need to just read the card, right? Let me just read this Huntmaster a minute. When Wizard Hunter enters the battlefield, you may exile a card from your hand. If you search your hand and library for any number the same name, exile them. Then shuffle. Choose a creature card you own from outside of the game. Conjure a duplicate of that card in your hand for each card exiled from your hand this way. Uh, that's really cool. And Ben saw it because now he's got 2 creatures or 2 ways to exile all of Spike's graveyard. That's all he would need to get this Atraxa across the line. Unfortunately, Swords of Plowshare has been found for Spike, as well as an Unholy Heat. Atraxa will be going to exile. We will gain 7 life, but that's not the key part of it. That now means there's a lot more game to play because there's going to be an 11/11 on the other side of the battlefield, as well as 2 3/3 flyers for Aspiring Spike.
Okay. All right. This is what I'm talking about. Now the wheels are turning for Aspiring Spike. And if I had to guess, dare I say it, he's in the driver's seat, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, going to attack with all there. If he attacked with all, we could be dead on the crackback, but does have unholy holding up counterspell magic, which obviously Ben lost to quite a lot in that first game. So going to have that going through his mind. Playing the cleric here was quite nice because you can sacrifice it during combat, making these Dragon Age channelers 1/1s. But knows how quickly Spike's deck build with instance magic along with Dragon Age channelers. Starting off the turn with land drop, forceful 2/1 flyer, exile target player's graveyard. Play a second copy. Quite awkward. I mean, real hard for Spike to kind of refill the graveyard. I think he's deciding, does he want to Unholy Heat now while he can get the 4
Delirium.
damage?
Yeah.
Oh, wrong, 6 damage on it. But second he casts it and the 2 Surveil triggers happen, we can just then sacrifice a cleric and it will only do 2 points of damage. So the biggest problem here for Ben currently is that 12/12 that we see on the other side of the battlefield.
Yeah, this is kind of tricky because right now we're also shields down for other critical top decks from Ben's side, right?
Get rid of that grave. Underworld Breach and Herbal. Invents off the top. Not what we're looking for here. Might just exactly what. Are we going to shock this in though? Auto Tapper kind of. In fact, no. Auto Tapper's doing what Auto Tapper. 7 damage. Can we get across the line? Having a little look. Finds another Voice of Resurgence. Man, do I miss that card being played in any format?
Yeah, I remember when that card used to stress me out all the time, every time.
Is my audio quiet, producer? People in chat are saying that my audio is quiet or my mic's cutting out. You're going to turn me up a little bit, chat. See if that works. The ham hooks, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking part today. Hope you had fun. Voice of Resurgence.
Looks like it sounds better. Thank you, chat, for keeping us honest. And so one of the the remorseful clerics has now been activated. The Dragon Spears channelers are in fact 1/1s, but honestly, like the problem here also is that Spike is just like dangerously low on resources, right? Like he's gonna have to like draw something that gets him multiple cards worth of value, but
Like a treasure
notably,
cruise.
yeah, that's also turned off though. So right now he's really banking on this 14/14 to do something. He gets to play Luris now as a 3/2 life linker. Maybe he can block a couple times and buy back Dragon's Race channelers, but
Oh,
really,
one thing
I
we're
mean,
also really soft to right now is Winota off the top.
yes, yeah, that is the other one too, right? Stern Scolding does not get Winota, it being a 4/4. This is something.
Who's top decking better? We'll find out. Underworld Breach. We're going to go see if we can get some value off this. We're going to pick that Stern Scalding into the graveyard. We don't want that one. That's just going to be fodder at this point. Second Surveil. There goes a Mistress Bauble. Don't want that one either. It's going to be a lot better in the graveyard because potentially we can kind of recast that. Oh, no. If there's only 3 cards in the graveyard, we've got a. It doesn't do anything, right? We can't exile 3 cards to cast anything. It's just we can go
okay.
Luris, Bauble now, get 2 more surveys, and then we start getting a bit more value this way.
Oh, maybe we needed to sack the Remorseful Cleric in response to the Luris then. But here's the thing though, right? The reason Spike played the Underworld Breach is because it is costless. With the Luris in play, you will be able to bring back the Underworld Breach functionally every turn. So I kind of like that Spike did this, sort of was saying, hey, all right, well, I'm going to force you to activate your Remorseful Cleric. I'll be left with an Underworld Breach in my graveyard at the end of turn. And then I have the potential to draw something out. And that is a very important concept, right? Setting yourself up for success is something that you always want to be doing when you're, thinking many, many, many turns down the road. But I guess Ben maybe just doesn't care. He says, you know what, have a couple. What are you going to do? Draw 2, 3 cards? Go for it. I mean, I still have a very, very, very wide board. I'm at a healthy 23 life, and I am putting you under the gun to any top deck, um, like a Winota.
Well, we're kind of gaining a little bit of value. We could have stopped this if we sacked the cleric early. We could have stopped this little bit of value being generated this way. Spikes found a card he likes, which is an Unholy Heat. You can see that on top left of your screen. So kind of values that. Also not cracking the bauble
I
again
love that, by the way.
in case there's an exile. Yeah, I also
That's
think
a good
that's
punish.
really sweet. Gardens, not ideal. Do we have a mana? We don't have a way. If we find Winona right now, we can't cast it.
There's the Winota. We found the Winota.
I want about to say, I think maybe we go Grizzly Hunt just because we can cast it this turn. Adding another threat to the battlefield, we can exile the Kami from our hand, copy the Winona into our hand, and then next turn, if everything lives, we're gonna have a huge turn.
Yeah, hey, nice 2020 that you got going on there. What, Merit Lodge? Yeah, I don't care.
I wish that Spike had a fling in his deck.
Honestly, that's another great way to do it too. Anything, just I really do feel like Spike's deck is eventually just going to evolve into and please bear with me as I say this. You may feel, just as a warning, medical advice, like if you need to get like I don't know, like a so ibuprofen, have it ready. But it's gonna be Thoughtbound Phantasm Control deck. Like ugh.
It's cool. That's what I know. I
Ubasai,
know it's
Delver
cool.
of Secrets.
Right, we are drawing this Unholy Heat, which is going to force the action on this cleric, which means Spike will have the Bauble Lurus kind of mini combo to have fire off. Might cast Underworld Breach now before doing it, so that doesn't get exiled and we can have some access to cards this turn. Don't know if that's great or not, but you do get 2 extra surveils. Kind of can set up the top card of your deck. Let's have a look. See.
Every time I look at these board states, I turn my head, I come back, the board state looks a little bit more insane, and I'm just like, this is some pretty sweet magic. The Voice of Resurgent token trying to do its best impression at matching the 20 points of power here, but really it's the Winota that's in the hand that's looming for Spike that is causing problems. And okay. I see the line. Do you see the line?
Yes, there was a line that Spike can win this turn.
Wait,
and it starts with this. So
that's
we
not the line that I saw. Okay, hold up.
So we go Underworld Breach. That's now on the battlefield. We then, on the stack, Unholy Heat the Cleric. So the extra 2 triggers that we're going to get from casting this Underworld Breach are going to end up in our graveyard because we're only going to exile this bauble that is currently in the graveyard. And now that consider, we sack this, exile the graveyard. Now we get 2 Surveil triggers, which puts 2 more cards in the graveyard. I think we might actually be 1 land off. If we could play the extra Dragon Age Chandler, every bauble trigger going through is going to put 3 cards into the graveyard, and then eventually we can try and get the Fastest Oracle and win that way. Might not be able to do it this turn. This could be a value turn where we try and set up getting a counter spell in our hand because we have to stop that Winona coming down next turn, or we will probably lose the game. And what was you going to say about what was your line?
Well, my line was, honestly, at this point, I was thinking about how we could potentially draw like into a counter spell for the Winota next turn.
Oh my god, he drew the spell.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
You dirty dog. Oh no. Oh.
Hey, we've got a game. Aspiring Spike, the maker of metagames.
Play to your outs. Oh my! And he literally played to that.
A little fraudulent, but I allow it. Great content. I wonder, okay, this is what I actually want to know is, Will, over under, do you think the Thoughtbound Phantasm is going to be over 32 points of power before the end of this game?
I do now. Oh my word. Oh, I mean, okay, so we've got Unwell Breach and Bauble. If we go Dragon Rage Chandler. I think we could just win this turn. So we go Dragon Rage. So we're gonna go Underworld Breach. Oh, hold on. Did we have to? No, yeah, we need to go Underworld Breach. Underworld Breach. Dragon Rage Chandler. Surveil. We might be missing a land to move forward here. I'm gonna let Spike deal with this.
That's what I was thinking too. There's so many
It's
moving
looking good.
pieces right now. I mean, I don't know if we've actually used Luris yet to be able to cast something from our like the one Luris thing that we get per turn.
Yeah, we used it to cast the Underworld Breach.
Okay, never mind. Duh, obviously, yeah. Wow. Okay.
I don't believe we ripped that counter spell. That's so sick.
I mean, look, Will, didn't you check page 32 of the script?
I don't read that far. You know that.
In italics, Spike top decks no, okay, never mind. Sorry, I can't leak out too much. My bad.
And Tessa Talents is now going to be in the graveyard. Doesn't go do too much here. Life total was way too high to burn out. I'm pretty sure we're on this Fastest Oracle line, even though we've got a 30-30 on the other side of the battlefield. What does an attack all do here? Let's work that one out. 4 blockers and 1, 2, 3, 4 lethal attackers. 2 attackers get through. It's lethal. But Luris has got lifelink, so it's not lethal on the battlefield right now.
Wait, I'm actually a little bit confused. So don't we just... Oh, we don't have red mana.
No.
If we had that third Dragon's Rage Channeler in play...
Yeah,
and that's probably... Okay, that's the tricky situation that we got going on. Okay, I see now.
Voice is going to die. It's going to generate another 8/8 token, an elemental token. Of course, power and toughness equal to the amount of creatures that you control. So if we can deal with all the creatures on the battlefield and just leave it by itself, it's going to be tiny. Here comes end of turn.
Like
once upon a time.
Now, and this match was making my brain like hurt so much that I have to sit down. And I will let Spike figure. Oh, he's just passing the turn.
Oh my god, he drew a counter spell again. Oh my god. How does he do this? Every time. I suppose he's got a lot of surveys and he's kind of setting up the top card of his deck. And this is playing more into his game plan. But that's...
So attack all.
No, I don't. So we go block. This is 5 damage because Spike just ends at 1 life.
Yes.
This isn't lethal. It does take both Dragon Rage Channelers off the battlefield, though.
Do we
just
care about that? Well, I
guess
because we lose our Luris, though, right? We lose Luris, and that's a big deal.
You lose Luris, and you lose the Dragon Rage Channelers, which is pretty big.
All I'm saying is just give the Thoughtbound Phantasm the flying that it needs. It's a spirit. It should be able to fly. It needs to fly. One time.
I think Ben's trying to work out, can he get any of this Kami? And he can. All the big power creatures have to be blocked, and Luris has to block one of the big powered creatures, which will trade with it. It can't just jam on the Kami and him gain enough life to survive. So this isn't bad. The problem is if Spike can find 2 removal spells, there's 1. He's going to win the game.
Oh my goodness.
If this consider with double survey can find another removal spell, Spike is going to win this game.
Do you doubt the man? No, you do not.
It's an unholy. Oh my word. I'm done. No way. Oh, I feel so bad for Ben.
That is 3 back-to-back critical top decks with the counterspell. Maybe the second counterspell not so much, but then the Unholy Heat through double the Remorseful Clerics, through all the Winotas. Like this is just this is absurd. This is actually insane. I told you this deck is so sweet. I mean, Everett, what have you done? What have you done to my heart, my poor heart? I'm an enhanced surveillance believer, and I'm telling you right now, this deck is going to win the tournament. 100%. Actually, he did lose to Show and Tell. Maybe not. This deck will get second place at the tournament. 100%. I believe. Oh my gosh.
Like, where do I even start? It's like, I need counterspell. Blindly hit counterspell with my bubble. Hit counterspell. Hit the Winota. Hit another counterspell to counter it. Then I need to. Oh, it's just yeah. Masterclass deck building, masterclass play. I feel real bad for Ben. Was on the edge of winning for so many turns and just couldn't get across that line. He was either a land drop too short or drawing the Winota a turn later. But that was sick. That was amazing. Do we have a
Yeah.
backup feature match? Let's go with that one. Do we have a backup feature
Director,
match?
eyes in the sky. What's going on? Let's go game two.
Yeah, let's go into game two. It's
All
live.
right. We
Okay.
have
Right,
three
we're gonna move to
matches
game two.
reporting. So what we're
So
going to try
we're
to
gonna go.
do. Go ahead, Will.
Oh, we
Sorry.
got a mirror. We got a mirror. It's going to be a Yagmoth mirror because it is going to be Reed Duke versus Misplaced Ginger, both registering Yagmoth in this tournament. So going to be, I don't know if you've ever played a Yagmoth mirror. I definitely have. And Yagmoth having pro humans is quite annoying. And there's no grists or anything like that to get them off the battlefield for each player here. So it's going to be a bit of a gummed up battlefield, I imagine, when we move into this game number two. Remember, round number 4, 5, top 4 qualify. Looks like Reed was able to take down the first game. And now we get a little insight of how he's sideboarding. So he's taking out the big hitter here, taking out the natural orders. What else? Taking out the Blood Artist again. Spike's got a game plan, like a transformational sideboard. 2 times now we've seen him do this.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Reed?
Yeah. We can see Reed now, like sideboarding, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is really interesting. You see this a lot of the time in this style of deck where you have maybe a combo plan in your deck, and then what you realize is like, okay, in post board games where my combo is slightly susceptible to removal and things like that, what ends up actually happening? Well, my opponent will start, bringing in all the interaction that makes my specific combo a little bit less reliable, and in that situation, screw it. I don't want the combo. Let's just go ahead and um, try to play good old fair magic, all a la Golgari Rock style.
Well, you can't count out Reed in any sort of rock style matchup, right? Like he's made a career on playing these types of decks at the highest level possible. Now in a new format, is he going to be able to take it down? Is a game up, but lots of turn one options here. Could go for a Delighted Halfling, try and get that little bit of ramp out. Could try and play it safe and start hold up a Veil of Summer, or could just cast his own Thoughtseize while the kind of the coast is clear and no veils on the other side. While a new talks, I'm going to have a little look at what the differences are between both of these deck lists.
Yeah, I think in this situation, I'd like to just play Delighted Halfling. But it looks like Reed chooses to go for the Veil of Summer. So very clearly, I have a horrible misunderstanding of what these mid-range mirrors are about. Now, it does look like Ginger has, in fact, mulligan down to 6. So maybe that factors into what's going on here. But I'm really curious. I mean, I guess Reed is choosing to play it pretty slow here. And that is probably, I have Veil of Summer in my hand, therefore I must play it. And if you play the Delighted Halfling on turn 1, I'm just sort of thinking out like what Reed's logic might be here, right? And it does get deleted by something like a Fatal Push, or you do get Thoughtseize the turn after. The Veil of Summers are dead for the rest of the game. So perhaps that is Reed's logic. He's just like, hey, we must extract value out of this because I have not just 1, but 2 copies. And worst case scenario, I can just cycle it if my opponent plays a black-green spell, which is happening here in the Hepatra. The problem now is look at the board, right? Ginger's about to untap with 4 mana sources to play Yagmoth. Reed only has the 1. I guess the good news is the Thoughtseize.
Well, I like the turn here of Thoughtseize Fatal Push. Like lead off with a Thoughtseize and then decide if I want to play this young Delight Halfling, Young Wolf, or Thoughtseize. I don't like Hepatra being on the battlefield. I'm pretty sure I've got to get that one out of here. But I also need to make sure that the coast is clear and something like a Yagmoth doesn't come down, which can just refill the hand. And Reed deciding he's going to start with this Thoughtseize does have a nice easy take there with the Yagmoth going to the graveyard. But this is going to be the interesting play here. Are we fetching basic and playing a creature, or are we going to shock ourselves and cast something, cast this Thoughtseize? Remember, we do need double black for Yagmoth in future turns. And if Reed doesn't see any more land drops, we'll not be able to cast it currently. So yeah, decides to go with the Tomb here and the Fatal Push. Yeah, this is the line I feel like I would have took, which is of course very easy to say once one of the best to ever play Magic has done the line in front of me.
I really like the battleground that Rita also has brought us to with all the puppetry and the Wilds of Eldraine stuff. Pretty cool stuff.
I'm trying to think what my favorite one is. I really liked the Arming Cat one that they did, which we like fighting in the desert. But maybe I've just watched a little bit too much Dune 2 recently.
Great movie, by the way. No spoilers, but if you haven't already watched it, you need to be in theaters like now.
Yeah, it's great. I watched it in 4DX. It was so good. So good.
All right, now I think Reed is finally deploying on his side of the board, Delighted Halfling and Young Wolf. And this is sort of just like is bouncing back. He has
he's going for value. Leaving that 1 mana, knows there's a fatal push. Ooh. What did Ginger leave in his deck is the question going through my mind right now. If he left that Atraxa in, this could be game changing, even game winning at this point. Remember, we did see Reed take these out of the deck. Probably thought it was going to be more of a nutrition battle. I think we get rid of the Halfling here. So no point tapping. Yep. 4 mana. Sacrifice this Delighted Halfling. Natural order.
Yeah, still have Deathrite Shaman up to deal 2 damage as well. And
oof, okay.
There it is. Huh? What? Listen, I played a lot of Legacy, all right? These lines are not new to me.
Is that lethal? That's 10 points of damage. It's not lethal, but it's not great. Let's be honest. We've got a block with the Delighted Halfling to go to 1.
Yeah.
We don't have to double block. I suppose double block's not free, but it does give us an extra point of damage. Plus, the Young Wolf will come back as a 2/2. But that now means that we need to find an answer to the Deathrite Shaman because it will kill us in no upkeep. We also need to find a way to get a big 5/5 trampling creature off the battlefield.
Yeah, I guess one thing that I'm thinking about here is whether are we supposed to block with a Young Wolf because
wait. No. Fatal push. Reed knows about it. They've got trample.
Oh, you're right.
It's lethal. I'm not taking credit for that. It's definitely.
Ginger, he missed it. Wait, did Ginger miss it?
Ginger missed it. Chat pointed it out, not me. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but there is the Veil of Summer, so Reed would not have died to it though.
That is also true.
But Ginger doesn't know about the Veil of Summer. Is there any way? I mean, look at the icon of a man on the left side of your screen. I'm talking on the top left, right? He said, "Hold the phone. I'm on a call." Like I know there's a veil. Oh, my God, isn't that just like the greatest like avatar photo you've seen, just a period ever?
It is a good one.
It's a good one, right? Yeah.
I call that the Corey Bymeister pose. Like, what people don't see about that man is a very, very diva-ish, and this is kind of how you see him 9 out of 10 times behind the scenes. But when you meet him, he's like the nicest person in the world. I hope he's still in chat somewhere, otherwise it's not true. We are just dead here, right? What's in the graveyard that we could get? No, we can't attack, right? So we leave Young Wolf back to block. Oh, we're going to go fetch basic to 1. Orcish Bowmaster block with the token. Deathrite Shaman's going to try and eat something. Soul Cauldron's going to eat it in response. There isn't a way. Like, this isn't happening. This isn't going to be a thing.
No. It's literally impossible. There's no way. I mean, the good news is for fans of Reed Duke that he is up a game. So if Misplaced Ginger is able to take this one down, we will have a game 3, which is always something to look forward to. Now, I guess the other question, there's no way for us to really. Oh yeah, and this makes sense, right? Yeah, Derek has to immediately pass the turn. He's going to activate the Deathrite Shaman on his end step, force the activation of the Soul Cauldron, and then untap and go for lethal with the Deathrite Shaman, and that will be it.
Will it be it though? Let's have a little look. What does that card do there that I'm seeing? Prosperous Innkeeper. That can gain life. It won't do anything currently. Okay, so it doesn't gain life when it ETBs. Our own Deathrite Shaman doesn't do too much. Scavenging Ooze.
Maybe read
Scavenging Ooze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Can we Scavenging Ooze plus hold up mana? We can. So let me eat this. It says Deathrite Shaman is going to try and eat something. Soul Cauldron is going to eat it in response. Ginger's going to untap, try to Deathrite Shaman. If he tries to Deathrite Shaman, we can, in response, cord to go find a Scavenging Ooze, eat what's in the graveyard, so that doesn't trigger, then block with Scavenging Ooze on the Crater Hoof. It's enough to live a turn.
And now the cauldron has to activate in response to this. And you're saying that, okay, the Chord of Calling comes in response to the second Deathrite activation
Yes.
to get rid of the thing. We're not getting life off of this, but...
No, you don't get in line with it, but you stop the trigger.
You survive, and that's what matters.
Doesn't
right?
matter. Orcish Bowmaster is gonna seal this one.
This is great. This is just like E4, E5, like here's another surprise move. Now I've got something else for you. Back and forth and back and forth. And we are going to a game 3, friends and family. We are here to watch more of this Yagmoth mirror. 2 fantastic players, by the way. Reed Duke against, Derek. How do you pronounce his last name? Pete?
Ginger.
Yeah, there you
go.
go.
That's how you say that.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, so I wonder if Reed goes back to the natural order plan now he's on the play, which is arguably more powerful, or is he going to try and keep it to this grindy sort of matchup that we've seen there? He's trimming a few Thought Seizers there,
which I like. Honestly, I feel like playing to the board is more important than anything else. The card that severely underperformed for me, or maybe the second copy was too much. It was Veil of Summer, and I'd really like to see us trim down on Veil of Summer. Maybe the natural order package actually does seem strong, but I do understand that it is somewhat volatile, conditional. So it's really just a question of what sort of risk impact or that Reed is comfortable with playing with. And I feel like the answer for someone as highly skilled as Reed is, I don't like playing with that volatility. I want my pieces to do what they do consistently. We're going to resubmit functionally.
All right, well, let's see how it goes. Going into game number 3, round 4 of 5 here in Creator Clash 2. 5 rounds of Magic before we cut to the top 4, where we'll be bringing you all the games until we finally have ourselves a champion. Looking at this opening hand, I quite like it. I don't like Gingers, but I do like Reeds. So we might see a mulligan from Ginger here. Don't want that Crater Hoof in hand. It's definitely what we want to be cheating at once we've got lots of little dorks on the battlefield. And Yagmoth, yeah, turn 3, it's going to be pretty good, but not optimal.
Yeah, the other thing that...
Reeds on a mole.
Okay.
And Ginger kept. Okay.
Double
what do I know?
plot twist. Okay. Oh, okay,
Fatal
Ginger.
push.
I see you.
Fatal push really helps. That's a good one to draw.
He knew that it was on top of the deck. That's why he kept the hand and said, you know what? All right.
That's a good one in this matchup as well, though. Soul Cauldron.
Yeah, and honestly, things are looking a little grim here for Reed, if I'm going to be...
I don't think they're... Not yet, they're not.
Oh,
it's just a bunch of land and some big spells, which don't do too much for Ginger, right?
Sorry, I just noticed right under... So if you look next to Ginger's life total, like on the right, there's a literal Agatha Soul Cauldron in the artwork. That's cool. Props to the arena team. That's awesome.
In the artwork. Where am I looking?
You see like the Elish Norn, like the life total 20?
Yes.
And then to the right of that,
the little like the paper one, right? Okay.
Yeah,
I was
that's cute.
nowhere near that when you were shooting.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm sorry, I just saw it and I was like, oh, okay. But going back to this, I mean, the problem is that we know that Ginger's got the Yagmoth, and we know that Reed's kind of got well,
he's got an answer in hand.
He does have the push.
Did have an answer in hand.
He did have the push, and then you could also even kill the Yagmoth and then take it with the Agatha Soul Cauldron, right?
Oh yeah,
that would have been sweet.
I've lost to that a lot. So now this is got to be a telltale sign for Ginger, right? Like, why is Reed holding up 1 mana? Is it for Fatal Push or is it for a Veil of Summer? It doesn't make sense to not get a point of damage in here. Potentially 2 points of damage with the Soul Cauldron. And just has to pass the turn. Cord, great. Not great when you don't have many cards in play. So we can eat this Delighted Halfling or the Deathrite Shaman. Eating our own Deathrite Shaman, putting a +1/+1 carrot on the Light Halfling, it now gains all the activated abilities of that Deathrite Shaman, and so do all other creatures in our deck with +1/+1 counters.
Ooh, okay.
Yagmoth off the top is really, really good, and you're not scared to slam this out either, I don't think, because if it does die, you still got it because you can eat it with the Agha's Soul Cauldron.
Ooh.
The thing that I guess was going through his mind right now is he's got a fetch land. Is there a fatal push on the other side? I have this Veil of Summit. Is it worth me waiting till I hit another land drop and not advancing my board, or is it worth just I'm already mulliganed. A few cards have hit the battlefield. He's not played anything early. I reckon he's just got a handful of big spells that he can't really cast. I'm just going to go for it. And I think that's what's
Okay.
going to be going through Reed's head right now.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Are you ready? There's another fatal push on top of the deck here for Ginger, and Ginger knows this. Reed knows this, and that's why Reed is debating. I can see Will scratching his head, being like,
if it is, I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket and I'm going to get you to tell me what numbers there are.
I actually really like this decision by Reed to actually play the Yagmoth out. I think you just need to spend your mana this turn, and I mean you're not so far behind that. Well, okay, you know what? I think you're behind enough. I'll put it this way: you're behind enough where you want to play the Yagmoth this turn so that you can give yourself the best potential for the next turn to sort of make that glorious comeback. We'll see what Ginger's got going on here. I mean, is it the? Oh, okay, that's a pretty good one.
I thought you were right then. I was like, no way. But it's that's good because it will help us with our Yagmoth and it will help us with our Quarter Cooling. Right now, we don't want to be sacrificed too much. Also, reminder, Yagmoth cannot target a Yagmoth because it is a human and it does have protection from humans.
Ooh,
so that is key.
A
in
brother's
this mirror.
war.
Do it in that voice one more time.
My bad.
This kind of went pirate on me then.
Uh,
I thought like Jack Sparrow entered the room, but that's is it Ixalan the pirate set, the dinosaur pirate set?
Yeah. Okay, well,
land off the top, not ideal. Okay, we can attack with the Delighted Halfling.
Yes.
If we attack with Delighted Halfling, we can get a counter on it through the Soul Cauldron, and we can also proliferate to kill the opposing Yagmoth if it blocks.
Okay, I mean, there's no way that Yagmoth actually blocks in this universe, like straight up.
Well, also Yagmoth can't block the other Yagmoth, so that's another. I think I would have gone both there.
No. I think, yeah. Actually, wait a minute. What? Why are we not just Dimma doing it to him?
What does that mean?
Oh, okay. So you know all these. Okay, all right. I'll explain it to you later on. But yeah, I'm just wondering if we maybe should have just pulled the trigger, sacrificed the halfling, and taken a stab at any potential draw.
Well, next, all we're doing is drawing a card there. We're not even putting a -1/-1 counter on Yagmoth because it's pro humans.
You think that that's the kicker? Like, I mean, because maybe like, what if we hit like something like a young wolf or?
And we're back in the same situation, really. I suppose I'm not huge on it. I think
okay.
Right now, going on, the later the game gets, clearly the worse it's going to get for Reed in this spot.
I mean, it's already pretty bad here for Reed. I mean, check it out, right? Orcish Bowmaster, you can flash that into play, sack the token, draw a card, maybe even sack the Bowmaster, draw a card, use the Court of Calling to put something else into play. Like, actually, this is not looking so good for everyone's favorite Reader Rabbit.
So if we fetch up a basic, go Orcish Bowmaster, that's not bad. If we're going to draw a lad, that's the one we want to draw. Canopy Garden's going to bring along a bit of 0/1 plant, which means that can be sacrificed to draw a card. Does he have something to blow up this cauldron in his deck? Let me have a little quick look at this. Does have 1 Haywire Mite in the main and 2 Besages. So it does have ways to get it off the battlefield, but might just be able to overpower it moving forward. So record here for... Oh no, we can still cord here for free. Orcish Bowmaster can deal with the 0/1 plant, but then that will just get sacrificed and get us a card deeper for Reed. Also, this Veil of Summer can draw us another card deeper and give everything protection. So, going to be interesting how this pans out. I'm trying to think what we could cord for here. If this does as well. 1, 2, 3, cord for free.
I mean, there was some pretty crazy stuff in Ginger's deck as well, right? Like, wasn't there that sideboard Tishana's Tidebinder? I don't know if we have access to it, but like,
ooh, I found it.
What's up?
We get Hapatra. So Hapatra plus Yagmoth can be a one-sided Wrath. as long as you've got enough
Okay.
life total. Because every time you put a minus 1 minus counter on a creature, you will generate a 1/1 Death Touch Snake, which you can continuously keep sacrificing, refilling your hand and killing every creature on the other side of the battlefield. The only thing
Ah.
that is a resource is your life total in that moment, though. This is going to be interesting how this moves forward. Here comes August Bowmaster. Veil of Summer trigger on the stat resolve, so means they can't target it. So this 1 point of damage is going to happen to his own Yagmoth, but that's fine. Still got this Yagmoth getting turned sideways. Remember, we are mid combat at the minute. Two there. Soul Cauldron can eat the delighted halfling, put a +1/+1 creature.
I'm also looking at this Crater Hoof and wondering, because we don't really have too much this turn that can
We ain't hard casting that for a while.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like what, 8 mana or something crazy?
It is, yeah, but I mean I believe. I'm a believer.
Okay, cool. Some people.
Think
I'm not
like I
gonna.
do. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not, not gonna
That's the
princess
polite way to say it.
Calling for free again. I get a Tide Binder, me.
There it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. Okay.
Not Time
Pat
Binder,
on the
mate. It's
back
Time
on him.
Binder. Tashin. And this is going to target Agatha's Soul Cauldron,
Yes.
but it's got pro blue and black. But the trigger doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So you can still technically counter the activated ability. Now, there's actually such a strange interaction. Veil of Summer is active, but I believe this still works.
Yeah, I also think this works. But we're going to find out together if it does one way or another. Hello, Doomwake. Hope you had a good tournament, my friend. Welcome, everybody jumping in there. Hope you,
Right,
you've
we're
enjoyed
looking at a really
so
weird
far.
circumstance. Maybe somebody from Doomwake's chat can actually help us with this. Board of Calling has fetched up a Tishana's Tidebinder. There's an Agatha Soul Cauldron activation on the stack, but earlier you can see all these blue and black signs over all the cards. Read cast Veil of Summer. You can even see it on the left there. The static ability is or the passive ability of Veil is active. So it looks like the trigger from Agatha Soul Cauldron is countered, but does it remain inactive as long as the Tidebinder is there? And I think the answer is yes. That's what the visual demo seems to suggest as well.
Yes. And then we just had to pass the turn back. Decided not to draw any more cards, which we could have done from Yagmoth. Big draw step there being called a calling. Lots of creatures and lots of mana now. We're going to get frisky. We're going to be turning these things sideways, which
Old
is
an L.
Well, we can block one. No, I think this is where the mirrors get really complicated, right? Two players having Yagmoths plus creatures they can sacrifice.
Yeah, well, I just
How
pass
does
the ball to you in
blocking
these
work?
situations.
I don't. Basically, the answer normally is there's no good blocks. Is normally the answer. Like, if your opponent is attacking you, there's probably a good chance that your blocks are not good. You're not going to come up favorable to them. Or both players end up without a battlefield, just Yagmoths and a hand full of cards. Is there anything we can get instant speed here for Ginger? Yes, there's lots of it. We've got Orcish Bowmasters. We've got Daphite Shamans we can go get. We could get this Hapatra. I really like getting the Hapatra last turn. But then I also really like this Tiebinder stopping the Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So
yeah, the Tidebinder is kind of just I mean, it's open deck list, so it's definitely on Reed's radar. However,
okay, this is going to be cool. So we're going to go get ourselves another Orcish Bowmaster here because remember, Yagmoth draws a card every time it's activated. It's really good if your opponent's drawing cards and you have an Orcish Bowmaster in the battlefield because you're going to keep being able to do points of damage, which means they have to keep being targeted. Or this is going to happen. So
well,
Hapatra
there's
being the
the
one-sided
Hapatra you were
wrath.
looking for.
And I think you have to sacrifice this now, maybe. But then this means the Orcish Bowmaster is going to trigger again, which means that the Orca Mass token is going to come back, which means there's another creature to be sacrificed.
Yeah, I think you're kind of torn here. I mean, Reed's hands are
Just
kind of
pulling
tied
away.
behind his back.
Rock and a hard place. Remember, we're still during combat at this point. I'm going to float some colorless mana. We're going to sacrifice it. What are we going to target? The Hapatra?
Right. Reasonable.
I don't think Hapatra triggers when your opponent puts minus counters on your creatures. And it does commit damage to a player. You may put minus whenever you, yeah, it's whenever you pit. So that's one less thing to worry about. Been a while since I've had a Yagmoth mirror.
At this point, I think it's up to Ginger to figure out the most elegant way to sort of end the game here. You know, all this trouble that both of these players are going through, and in the back of my mind, I'm quietly wondering, like, why am I not just putting show and tell on the stack? You know what I mean? Just make it simple, make it easy, get it done with, and
they're playing fair magic. They're playing fun magic. Yagmoth mirror is amazing.
Okay, hear me out. You ready for it? Show and tell results. All right, here's my Yagmoth. I'm putting that into play.
Okay, show and tell. Here's my Orcish Bowmaster. Trigger on the stack. Force of Vigor. Your Omniscience laugh at you.
You know what? I accept that. I kind of wonder, just like, what would ever happen if you took cards like show and tell and like you just went back all the way in time to like 93, 94, 95, and just like, you know what? Here's your deck that has Time Walk and Ancestral Recall. We'll also give you some crazy card that's been printed in the future. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like 5 years ago, if you told me about some of the cards that we have today, Baby Anu would just be like, he'd be cackling. You know, he'd be like, yeah, sure.
So, chat asking, why do we sack Bowmaster? Bowmaster was the original target of a Yagmoth trigger. So we knew it was going to have to get sacrificed at some point, but leading up to that point, that's where we had that big stack of Yagmoth triggers. That's kind of what set it off. Now, that's a nice one to rip off the top. We've got a Scavenging Ooze with potentially 4 mana, so we can eat 4 things in the graveyard. Are there 4 creatures is the next question I need to think. The problem, and it is a problem, is our life total. So we can hose it down with the Hapatra and draw a gazillion cards. Because remember, a snake token gets generated every time we go through this cycle. Are we just sacrificing it straight away, Reed?
Whoa.
Ooh. Not even given the option, keeping priority. So there's no option for Hapatra to target it. Okay. And then we can discard this land in hand and proliferate, getting putting the extra -1/-1 counter on Hapatra, killing Hapatra, forcing this sacrifice here for Misplaced Ginger.
Love
which
it.
means no card is drawn off the Yagmoth for Reed. That's a bit. That tells me that you play Yagmoth in Modern and you know how this works.
And this is so cool because now you can activate the Soul Cauldron, give your Yagmoth the Scavenging Ooze ability.
Oh my, yes, you can.
And wait, now I think Reed's kind of popping off here. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8. There's 8 mana.
No, technically, yeah, we got 2 mana docks, so we could just see this game be closed out by a hardcast Crater Hoof, which is nuts. We go 2 mana dorks here. Leave this Yagmoth in hand in case the one on the battlefield actually gets used. And then next turn, if we've got our 7 mana, we can play the Crater Hoof, and that will most likely be GG's.
Oh, wait.
We do the halfling, so now I believe the Yagmoth is going to be able to tap for mana.
Oh, yeah. But wait, we didn't want the...
There's already a Deathrite Shaman underneath it, so now is able, because it's got +1/+1 counter, it gains all the abilities, so that's why we saw a Deathrite ability used there to lose 2 life. Drew a Young Wolf, so one of the better creatures to draw here.
Oh, he's going for the jugular. I see.
Oh, by the way, have you ever tried to kill a Young Wolf with Yagmoth? You can't.
No,
you can't. Is the answer to that?
Wait, what?
Because it only really dies when it has a +1/+1 counter and you kill it. Yagmoth is only going to kill it with -1/-1 counters, which means it will never have the +1/+1 creep. It is ridiculous, and you cannot do it.
Wait. Okay, see, I have a theory that Young Wolf secretly, low-key, one of the best cards in the Yagmoth deck. I historically lose this card way more than I should be willing to admit out loud in a public setting, but I think this card is, like, insane.
So this is the problem that Reed has. It doesn't have another card to go with it. Don't worry about that. Reed drew another Young Wolf. So How does this work? If we can find a Call of Cooling, we win the game.
With Blood Artist, right?
But blood, I don't know. He started out the Blood Artist though, right? I'm pretty
Oh,
sure he moved that to his sideboard.
how do we? Okay, we're gonna draw a bunch of cards, and do we
Yeah,
have like
this lets us draw a bunch, but I'm pretty sure you've got to target your own young wolf here. I think you got to sacrifice your young wolf to target the other young wolf, because you do it this way, you now are going to lose one of your young wolves moving forward. Like, we could have drawn a bunch of cards there and still have 4 mana up to do what we want with. So now does Ginger have to discard and proliferate, putting a +1/+1 counter on the young wolf, so it's got 2 +1/+1 counters, which means it can then die. Orcish Bowmaster is now the draw. Now that's going to put a span in the works, because now every time Yagmoth is used and a card is drawn, we're going to take an additional point of damage.
I really thought that this mirror was just gonna be like a simple walk in the park, but
No,
there is literally nothing more stressful than what I'm seeing right now. This is so much back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
hey, the only honest person in the tournament, E Philly's just joined with the raid. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed your tournament. We're loving that you're in your competitive tournament era, and brought an absolutely awesome deck. I apologize that Ben beat you up with your own deck.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was brutal to
We're
watch.
gonna have a chat with Ben later. That was, quite frankly, that was just rude.
Okay, beside you off the top. That's an answer for this Soul Cauldron.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know either. I feel like Ginger's ahead. Oh, in fact, I don't know what am I talking about. We can just go creative here, right? Is that not going to be enough?
Oh yeah, duh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So tap. That gives us 4 creatures. 2 of them will die, which means there'll be 3 creatures. I still think this is enough.
Well, Reed has.
Every time he uses an activation here, he will lose a life, plus, because he's got to kill the Bowmaster as the first thing.
I'm pretty sure this Crater Hoof is just like very lethal. Even if you sack the Young Wolf, put a counter on the Bowmaster, sack the Young Wolf, put a counter on the Halfling.
I think it's math is for blockers, is what I'm kind of thinking right now.
That's what I'm thinking too, but I don't know
So
how
we sack 2 things and we kill 2 creatures. That means everything gets +3/+3 and trample, which is lethal. I'm pretty sure that's lethal. Even with maybe with the proliferate and Soul Cauldron, there's a way to live and win on the backswing, maybe. I don't know is the answer to that. You don't want to, with this Orcish Bowmaster, sacrifice, target the young wolf, because then Reed gets a free use of young wolf.
Correct.
Scavenging News is still in the yard, chat pointing out. Does that change anything?
I mean, it can gain you what, 3 life? But Crater Hoof coming in, that's 25 points of power. So my gut says no, but my heart wants to believe.
This is crazy that if Spike had the Blood Artist still in his deck, he had like 8 or 9 shots at hitting a Quarter Calling to win the game. Crater Hoof.
I think
It's got to be lethal.
Yeah.
Can we hold on. So if we can go Once Upon a Time.
You have to cast the Once Upon a Time. That's your only action now.
Well, if we go Once Upon a Time, well, we've got the proliferate as well, right? But that's not good here. We can make Ginger. Can we get 2 extra points across? That's what we're missing. No creature in our deck has got haste. We'd love something like a Strangleroot to be able to, 2 activations of the Deathrite Shaman ability. Having a little look, see. I don't see anything. I think this might just be game. Great fight though. Great fight. Trigger on the stack. Everything currently going to get +4/+4 and trample.
5, 11, 6.
Orcish Bowmaster's found. Now, does
Okay,
that do
wait a
anything?
minute.
So Orcish Bowmaster, kill a creature. Oh no, shoot a creature, sacrifice, kill a creature. We go to 6. We block. I still don't think this is enough. I don't.
Well,
Chat's saying it's enough. I don't know. I'm not sure how this is enough. Is it enough to survive? Surely not. So we sacrifice
5,
a
6,
creature.
7, 8 plus 9, 17.
Reed's doing the math.
Yeah, he's trying.
So if we sacrifice the token, kill the opposing token, we go to 6. Okay.
Oh, wait. We also so this is kind of weird, but I guess
we can't use young. I think I know what you mean. You can't use the options off the table, right? We can't now use the drain ability from Yagmoth. We don't have the land to activate it. This happened. Yeah, it's just lethal. I think we need more land, and maybe we might have got there, but this is going to be too much. The fact that it's trampling is the obviously the killer here. Having an 8/8, a 4/5, and a 5/7, all with trample.
I don't know. The Yagmoth can tap for mana and also activate.
There's nothing
Scavenging
to
ooze.
activate. I suppose you could activate scavenging ooze. That is true.
That's 1 life only.
So that makes 2 life is lost there. This is still like 8, 9 damage coming across. Exile. Scavenging ooze.
Okay, so he's just going through the motions,
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Maybe Ginger disconnects. We don't know. Here's a Conzillion triggers. Exile a land. Generate a green mana. Eat a creature. Get a +1/+1 encounter and 1 life, going back up to 7. Eat the tie binder, that's fine. And then give the good game. Make sure you get all those clicks in. I appreciate it. Really cool game to watch. Really do love the mirror. Like, and like the different extras. Realistically, like there's like a card difference in that, right? And with Reed being 1 card down in the opening hand, keeping that 6-hander. Why chat's saying it's Miss Lethal, and I
believe him.
Sure.
I believe him. Sure.
So,
that board state got so complicated that I was just kind of like grabbing my hair trying to figure out what's going on. But I think it looks like round 5 is ready to go. So we probably should just dive right into that. Right?
I'm game to get straight into it. Round 5 here of the Timeless create a clash. More than happy, especially while chat. Can you type out how that was lethal? I want to know in my head. It's gonna be sick.